What's up, Tilapia Gamers? My name is Destroyer, and today I'm here with a whiteboard. A board of white. Just white everywhere. And this is a skull chest. You looters might know them pretty well for being quite iconic. These are legendary weapons. They can drop in skull chests. This is a number. In fact, a fraction. Now, this number right here, this fraction you may call it, has a very sinister connotation. It's wrong. It's utterly wrong. It's incorrect. I'm gonna exit out. Don't use this number. Okay, I'm gonna bring you somewhere else really quick. This is code. This is actually a GitHub page with all of the drop globals from Potco. There's a couple cool things in here. There's, for example, you have container drop rate. This shows the container drop rates for enemies of each of the colors, red, yellow, green, and gray. As you can see, red and yellow enemies both have a 45% chance of dropping a container. And then here you have the container type rate. This is the container types. This is pouch. This is loot chest, and this is skull chest. As you go up to level 10, you start seeing skull chests from enemies. And you keep going up and up and up, and then it tapers out at level 30, where you have a 75% chance of getting a loot pouch, assuming that you get the percent drop from any of these type of enemies. Then you have a 20% chance of getting a loot chest, and then you have a 5% chance of getting a loot skull chest. And these are all Potco numbers because we don't have Tilapia numbers. Please give me the numbers. And this keeps staying the same until about level 80. And here you have the code to get a container type. Here's the number of items that you can get inside a chest or something. This could be, I assume this can be applied to any number. So it seems like you for a skull chest you usually get around. I want to say this is either 0 or 1, and this is maximum 6. I could be reading this wrong. There's not really any context around here for it, except like this, I guess. Here is the item type rate. Now, I think what this is for is like the different types of items that you can get. So that's not really important to us right now. This is like the chance that you can get a weapon inside of it, something, or like something else. And I'm not too certain of these numbers. But the most important part is right here, the item rarity rate. Now, as everyone knows, you have crude items, which is this and this. And you have common items. You have rare items, famed items, and legendary items. And you have them in the chest. Your rates go slightly up for legendary. Instead of getting 0.0, you get 1 times 10 to the negative 5, which should, except it's a floating point number, so it's like very close to 1 in 100,000, I want to say, because 5 zeros after. But it's not quite 1 in 100,000. And I'm going to get to that with the skull chest. Then you have it for the loot pouch, or you have it for the famed. And this is famed as well. But what I'm trying to say is that these numbers here don't really represent the actual chance of you getting the item that you want. Because there's this thing about looters where they want to say they're funny little magic numbers, which are these things. These are basically just magic numbers. And that doesn't really make sense to me because everyone keeps on thinking of loot rates and assuming a skull chest, but you can't really assume a skull chest here because these numbers are all conditional probability. All of these have to line up for this one event to occur. So this is the legendary loot rate, and this is where the 1 in 1176 comes from. Now, if we go back to our whiteboard and we pull out a calculator really fast, like this one, if we copy this number, this legendary number, and then we divide it under 1, like so, keeping the floating point number because that's how it is in the original code, you get 1 in 1176.47058235529418685121107266444. Now, I don't know about you, but that doesn't really look like 1 in 1176. That looks like 1 in 1176.4705888 repeating. And I don't like it when people assume things, generalize things. Sure, it can be fine for like saying pulling out of your ass really quick or something of that matter. But it doesn't really make sense to me why we would use this number, assuming the conditional probability, because we don't have to just deal with that. We have to also deal with other things like, for example, you have the container drop rate. This is 45% chance for both yellow and red enemies, which are probably going to be the ones that you kill at your little gold room, like I do it myself. I'm also guilty of that. Then you have the container type for a skull chest, which is 5% chance. And this is a massive oversimplification of these for these drop rates that happen. There's like a lot of things that go into it because in the code you have Python, which while reading the code I noticed that it imports random, and random, the function in Python, is based off of time of day and other things like that. And I don't know how loot is calculated in that, but I'm assuming that your machine's time of day, along with some other like variables, are put into giving you these rates and trying to calculate at these rates or whatever to give you the legendary item. So there's a chance that RNG could be manipulated, but we don't know exactly why because, first of all, this is potcode code that we have over here that I showed you. Second of all, there's no like server code or anything that we're able to look at, and server code is pretty big in like distributing things such as legendaries. So I don't know exactly how it works. This is just drop globals. This just tells you the global variables that the client uses. Or yeah, that's just the global variables that a client uses in order to put that into the server to do whatever calculations it needs to do to distribute the containers if you hit the probability chances. Anyways, this is the weapon rarity type for a legendary. It's 0.0844999 repeating percent. That doesn't really look like 1 in 1176. I would say that don't look like 1 in 1176 to me. No, this looks completely different to me. This is conditional probability we're talking about. I don't think it's safe to assume that you can assume the container dropping and everything lining up. In fact, if you do conditional probability for this, the chance of you getting a legendary from an enemy is more like 1 in if I were to do it off the top of my head, it's around like 1 in 20,000. So I don't know why people are just saying 1 in 1176 willy nilly. I don't understand it. Because why would you say a number which is accurate, assuming something that is not guaranteed to happen? 1 in 1176 is like you assume the skull. Well, you can't assume the skull. You literally cannot assume the skull, because the skull chance dropping itself is already pretty low in terms of video game probability. 5% chance is not a huge number for video game probability. Like some of like the stuff that drops like the rarest in like Terraria and Minecraft, etc., it doesn't really reach like these ridiculous numbers with all this conditional probability. And I think this is a massive oversight that is seen by the looting community. Anyways, my solution to this and my conclusion is to stop looting. I think if we stop looting, we can enjoy the game more. We can enjoy different parts of the game. Do like more role playing. Now, don't get me wrong, role playing can go bad. But is it worse than looting? Because in old Podco, there wasn't any looting. It was they released like the level 4 weapons, which are like your level 15 weapons. Then they released level 5 weapons like a bit later in like 2008, I think, mid 2008. And that's all you had for weapons. You didn't really aspire for much more. You did all the quests. I think the quests are fun. Nobody else thinks the quests are fun. Well, that's sad. I guess I'm alone on this. But yeah, I just enjoy doing other things in the game more than just looting. Looting is just people see it as a feat of strength. I see it as a feat of folly. Yeah, I don't really enjoy it that much. You mostly just click item and use it on enemies, and then hopefully get thing you want, and you just repeat that until you get the thing you want. It's not really, it's a really brain dead activity. I guess it's okay if you're literally doing nothing else except like consuming media or something like on YouTube or Netflix. But yeah, just stop looting. Play a different game. If you're at the point where you don't want to just loot, just don't play the game. Wait until like a new update comes out, like Escondida or something. I wouldn't like try to continue looting unless you're like a freak like me, who just wants to get the red text. Yeah, just if you don't like looting, just do something else. I don't know, go outside. Like I won't say the forbidden words like that rhymes with brass, touching brass. I won't say that because that's just overused, I suppose. But yeah, I would suggest not looting. Yeah, don't do this. I highly unrecommend this. Okay, I think that'll be all. Goodbye.